Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on all the DC TV stuff. You know, the Arrowverse stuff, because we're talking about, yep, you've guessed it by the title, Crisis on Infinite Earths, that little crossover. So we are now under a week? No, 2 weeks until the newest season of DC TV on the CW, or as the cool kids in, the crew call it, the Arrowverse. It's back in action and hitting our screens and in turn our eyeballs in that amount of time. This of course starts on the newest show, the new kid to the block to join the universe, that of course being Batwoman on Sunday week, or not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And actually now that I think about it, we're actually like a week and a half away, rather than, just under 2 weeks. Anyway, this break has gone like pretty quick, to be completely honest, especially since Comic-Con went down. We got more info, we can just, we had something to talk about, so it's pretty crazy that's gone actually this quick. But of course we are all excited for these new seasons to kick off in the next, under 2 weeks, and with Arrow, the next 3 weeks. But of course we all have one thing in the back of our heads while we enjoy, the first episodes of these new seasons, and in some cases these first episodes will remind us of these events coming up. And no, I'm not talking about that rumoured Felicity and Iris spin-off. I know people are crazy about that and really want it, but I'm not talking about that. I am of course talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths, the epic crossover that has been building up since, Season 1, Episode 1 of The Flash. But of course, throughout this video, guys, there will be various things I will bring up that might get you talking and get your opinions flowing. So be sure to leave all those opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're just excited from what we talk about in this video, why not drop a like on it? Show your support that way. But all the chatter and theorizing around Crisis on Infinite Earths will continue until we actually, get to see it on screen, which won't happen until early December. But we might get some answers to some questions, not all of them, just some, sooner than we think, as Crisis has actually started filming. So Mark Guggenheim, who is an executive producer on Arrow and a former showrunner, and also one of the people heading up the Crisis crossover in certain departments, tweeted a couple of days ago that Crisis had officially started production. And the show that would be kicking off the filming for Crisis on Infinite Earths would be the newest show in the Arrowverse, that of course being Batwoman. Now, this would probably be due to the fact that Batwoman was ahead on episodes, due to the fact that they filmed their pilot episode, or episode 1 for their first season, a while ago, towards the beginning of the year, like March or something. Now, from what I'm hearing, and this makes sense, is that Supergirl will be the next show to start their Crisis filming in the next few days, or within the next week, as they wrap up their 8th episode of the season. Now, for Flash and Supergirl, it will be episode 9 for Crisis by the looks of it. Arrow will be 8, we already know that. But I'm not 100% sure on Batwoman. Due to their shorter season, they could be episode 8 or 9 for them. Like, if you know, let me know in the comments, but I'm not 100% sure on that in regards to what episode their Crisis episode will be. Now, Arrow and Flash should start their filming in another week or so, as they have been on their 7th and 8th episodes this week respectively. Obviously, because Crisis is so big, the actors might be given a rest, especially if they're not needed for some of the, Batwoman and Supergirl stuff, but we won't know until they're there filming, I guess. Now, for those that are wondering, with the crossovers, they don't film one episode at a time. So by that, I mean, they won't film, obviously we have Batwoman starting first, so they won't film Batwoman, the entire Batwoman episode in its entirety, then move on and do all of Supergirl in its entirety, and then Flash, and so on and so forth. One day they might film some Batwoman stuff, then the next day they might film some Supergirl stuff in the morning, and then move to Arrow and do some Arrow stuff in the afternoon, and all that. Obviously, there would be days where maybe they might film like 3 days of Flash in a row, especially if it's like a big action sequence or something. But for the most part, if it's like just little scenes, they will move between shows throughout the days, or even in one singular day. So if you are going to be someone that tries to keep up with like the filming and all of that and wondering what's going on, that is a useful piece of information to keep in mind, that they do move between the shows. But let's just jump into some stuff that has already gone down in regards to Crisis filming. And it's pretty exciting. So on the same day, a few hours later from when Mark Guggenheim put out that tweet, telling everyone that Crisis had, officially started filming and all the production stuff had started, we had Elizabeth, or Bitsy Tulloch, or Tulloch, not too sure how you pronounce her last name, I'm sorry, who of course played Lois Lane in last season's Elseworlds crossover. We had her share this image on her Instagram story, might I say, which of course shows her trailer on the set of not Supergirl, but Batwoman. Now, this had a lot of people talking, as you would expect, because it was random. Like, I don't think we were really expecting that, because they said that production had started, but no one really knew in what way and like who was involved and stuff. But the interesting thing to wonder is whether this is the Earth 38 version, which we met in last season's crossover, the one from Supergirl's Earth, or if this is possibly the Earth 1 version of Lois Lane. As most of you should know by now, Batwoman is set on Earth 1, but even though this seems to be the first or one of the first things shot for Crisis, it won't be the first thing that happens in the episode or the crossover in general. So maybe it takes place like halfway through the episode, which allows room for Lois maybe to make her way to Earth 1 if she is from Earth 38. Or the scene that she is shooting just takes place on Earth 38. Maybe it's in the Daily Planet of Earth 38 or something like that. If anything, that's probably the most likely option, because I don't think Tyler Hoechlin's Superman was present or Clark Kent was present. I think it was just her. So I guess it would make sense maybe if it's just in the Daily Planet, but we won't know until we, see the episode, I guess. But speaking of Lois Lane as a character, a little earlier this week we had the news that people were sort of waiting on and clinging onto and hoping it would happen for quite a while, and that was finally confirmed, which was of course that Tom Welling would be in Crisis on Infinite Earths, reprising his role as Clark Kent from Smallville from back in the day. Now there was some confusion and also just some miswording from some people around him suiting up. I don't know if it was actually confirmed he would be suiting up as Superman, because some outlets were reporting that he would, but I think the initial outlet that got the exclusive didn't say it. They said he was just coming back as Clark Kent, and there wasn't actually any mention about him suiting up. So I don't know if they've actually confirmed it, like the people in charge, whether he is suiting up as Superman. We don't know. The thing that was just 100% said is that he would be back as his version of Clark Kent at the least. But I think it was the day after that, if not 2 days, but I think it was even just the day after that news came out in regards to Tom Welling, that it was also confirmed that Erica Durance, or Durance, however you want to pronounce it, would be reprising her version of Lois Lane from Smallville. And obviously she played Allura, I think that's Supergirl's mother's name. So she was playing Allura in Supergirl season 3. Yeah, I think it was just Supergirl season 3. But obviously she's now playing her role of Lois Lane from Smallville. And of course it would be weird to have like two different looking versions of a character, these two Lois Lanes. But of course we will have like multiple different looking versions of Clark Kent, Tyler Hoechlin, Brandon Routh, and now Tom Welling. And of course we had two different looking Barry Allens and Elseworlds, the Earth 90 version and also the version we have all the time. And they will both be in Crisis most likely, not just Elseworlds. Now Erica did post this image of her getting ready to start her stuff on Crisis on Instagram. Not too sure if this is actually on the set of Crisis. She has like a hair clip, was almost as if she's been to the makeup trailer. Hard to tell, and it looks like it's possibly the set, like the studio lot. Hard to tell, to be completely honest, but if she's there, then I guess this is some sort of proof. But this possibly could suggest that maybe she could be in the same scene or around the same scene as the Bitsy Tulloch version from Earth 38. Obviously, it's hard to tell, but that could be a possible scene, like multiple Lois Lanes just in a scene, claiming they're Lois Lane, super confused. That could be slightly entertaining, I guess. But one other thing involving Smallville, which got a lot of people talking, I think by the time this video comes out, maybe like 3 days ago, was a post from Michael Rosenbaum, who of course played Lex Luthor on Smallville, on Twitter. Now, there'd been a lot of talk about whether he was going to be in the crossover, and then once Tom Welling was announced, it's the whole, will Lex Luthor be reprising coming into Crisis? That just ramped up even more, and Michael was forced to post this on Twitter. So this is what he said. Friends, many of you have tweeted and asked about joining the Infinite crossover. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I'll just be straight up about this. WB, or Warner Brothers, called my agents Friday afternoon when I was in Florida visiting my grandfather in a nursing home. Their offer: no script, no idea what I'm doing, no idea when I'm shooting, basically no money. And the real kick in the ass: we have to know now. My simple answer was pass. I think you can understand why. I hope this answers all of your questions. Lovingly, Rosenbaum. Now, this was pretty surprising to see, and personally, this could be legitimate. And also there was rumors about a lot of the cameos coming in, whether it be Tom Welling and this Lois Lane and even the Kevin Conroy Batman and stuff like that. A lot of these cameos being part of a montage and only being 5 to 10 seconds. Him saying this stuff about him not getting paid that much would line up with the whole cameo thing about him only being on screen for 5 to 10 seconds. But there is a possibility that maybe this is a bit of almost like advertisement, we're getting people talking about it, because I think it might have 10,000 likes by now and over a couple of thousand retweets. So people know about this, so he could surprisingly show up. And also it's a bit weird because he's basically calling out Warner Brothers, and as an actor, would think it would be too smart to do that, because further roles could be like, if it's a choice between you and someone else, to be like, oh well, you did this back in the day, so let's not hire you. Like, you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot there. So I don't know if this is legitimate, or if it's just a bit of a publicity thing, but I guess we'll have to wait until Crisis is done filming to see if he's in it or not. But yeah, in regards to other castings, I'd expect them over the next few weeks as they do ramp up filming for this event, because they will want to get the first announcement of an actor or a new character being in Crisis, rather than like a set photo or anything along those lines. Yeah, there was talk about like Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. I think it was reported by Deadline, but they didn't really give like a proper source. They just sort of like mentioned it in their article in passing while talking about the whole Michael Rosenbaum situation. So there's people talking about the Linda Carter thing, but there's no real backing to it. So I'm not really going to focus on that too much. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on all this Crisis stuff, what gets you interested the most, what you're looking forward to the most, and of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.